Do these bikes, these motorcycles, these speeders fit the general vibe of Star Wars? If you watched my review video of this episode, episode 3, The Streets of Mos Espa, you'll hear me briefly mention the speeder bike kids, or as I called them, the cyberpunk kids. A lot of people are calling them the Vespa gang or something like that. And my initial thought after I watched this episode and started rambling into my microphone at 5 in the morning was that these kids and their speeder bikes felt super George Lucas-y. I said that in the video 10 minutes after I watched the episode. I mentioned American Graffiti in that video. These kids and their bikes and their overall look is without a doubt a nod to George Lucas. So there's that. I personally think that it quote-unquote fits, whatever the hell that means. Star Wars has had a crazy variety when it comes to style, fashion, technology, architecture, you name it. So what is Star Wars supposed to look like? Well, shit, back in the day when the prequels were coming out in 1999, those movies damn sure didn't look like Star Wars to us teenagers. You heard about that a lot in comic shops and on the Force.net forums. So the style of Star Wars, the look of Star Wars is constantly evolving, constantly being explored. The variety is constantly being added to, but that does not mean that you have to like it. But people don't like it, and that's fine. I get it, man. I get it. It's not like I'm jumping up and down for joy that I love these designs. I mean, I don't think I would ever buy an action figure of a speeder bike kid. But if somebody doesn't like the style or the look or the vibe of these kids and their speeders, who cares? Like, man, I understand the hit him with the facts reaction, the Twitterness of looking at some of these complaints and feeling the need to like immediately reply with images of other shiny vehicles or slick bright things in the Star Wars universe. I get it. Like, I get it, man. You're gonna put a picture of Dexter Jexter's 50s diner next to these speeder bikes. Yeah, there's obvious influence between the two. And there's no question in my mind that the person complaining about the look of these speeder bikes knows that Dexter Jexter's diner exists. Of course they do. Maybe they don't like that either, you know? But like, if somebody doesn't like a thing and they're not an asshole about it, you don't need to immediately turn on the Twitter snark and start putting them down for not liking a Star Wars thing. To me, if someone's immediate knee-jerk reaction to someone else simply disliking a thing is to turn on their Twitter snark and attitude, then that's just as embarrassing as someone running around telling you you're wrong for liking a thing. It's two sides of the same damn coin.
This is a false equivalence. The other side is worse. The other side is worse. Nuh-uh. The other side is worse.
It's just all so goddamn stupid. I've seen some Twitter posts where people say it doesn't fit the vibe of Tatooine. All right. I mean, sometimes things can clash on purpose. It's called juxtaposition. I don't really understand this argument, to tell you the truth. My mind immediately goes to the real world and how you'll often see lavish vehicles in poorer communities or super jacked up expensive trucks worth more than someone's home in poor rural towns. I don't know. At a certain point, I just feel like, some people don't like a thing and there's really no point in trying to convince them otherwise. Wouldn't that just be a giant waste of time? Who cares? I'm wasting my time right now, aren't I? Look, the speeder bikes are goofy, but they immediately reminded me of George Lucas. Immediately. His love of hot rods and 50s cars, racing on the streets of Modesto, California. They reminded me of the Art Deco style of the Star Wars prequels. They reminded me of Mr. Sleazebagano. Hell, visually, they reminded me more of Clone Wars prequel era George Lucas Star Wars than anything else in modern Disney Star Wars. At least visually. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. You like them, don't like them, whatever. As far as the Book of Boba Fett goes, the show is okay. It's okay. I'm enjoying it, nothing mind-blowing or spectacular so far. Pretty run-of-the-mill. Just okay. We'll see how the rest of the episodes play out.